Colleagues, you're once again welcome to this session. I see that we are almost half of the number, and I see that we barely have 2 minutes from what we had agreed. And I think in the next couple of minutes, I should be able to call this meeting to order, and then we roll. Other people can join us during the course of the discussion. So let's just give about 2 minutes and then we start rolling. Yeah, thank you. All right, so colleagues, we are set to begin. Let me change my gadget here. I can see feedback that some of what I'm saying is not very well heard, so that I can use another gadget and you're able to hear me better. Okay, just a second. Hello, colleagues. Let me hope you can be able to now hear me better. One could confirm if you are able to hear me. Okay, perfect. All right. So you're most welcome to today's session, and I'll be taking us through a few concepts, just like you've seen the poster, which I'll just be discussing a few uh, issues here and there to enable us have more knowledge, ideas, but also share experiences. We shall be having one of our colleagues who will be sharing with us their experience relating to this concept. And of course, today we are going to share on internet safety, but specifically looking at goods and services. As you are aware, we have a number of aspects now within the service sector. So when you're talking about the service sector, we're talking about, for instance, in education, in health, in transport, in financial services, in agricultural services, in electricity, in water. All those are different services that we talk about. But also you understand very well that in all these services, the internet is now a core, I would say, one of the things that you can't do without when you're talking about delivery of these services. So if you look at education, for instance, internet is part and parcel of education in our education systems, at the universities, in the secondary schools, in the primary schools. Everybody's on internet in schools. And also the internet, actually, it is also framing some of the course units or what people are being taught in school. So you realize that we can't do education now without the internet. If you go to health, you will actually learn that we may not do so much without the internet in the health sector. You go to the theater, people are using the internet. You go to the pharmacy, people are using the internet. You go to prescriptions, people are using internet. So somehow we cannot run away from the realities of the internet in the health sector. Similarly, in the transport sector, people are ordering cars, people are paying for transport fares online. So we cannot run away from them. If you go to the financial services, it is by default that people are actually using online payments, online banking, on everything is now quite online. People are using online platforms to pay for every other thing. So currently, you also realize that in the agricultural service sector, we are using also internet or AI for precision agriculture to search for inputs and etc. I think I'll be muting those who are not muted so that we don't have echo. So we then have in the electricity sector, every person is paying electric bills online. So somehow we cannot avoid internet. Now, while the internet then comes in play, we see that creates a lot of opportunities. We realize that the internet is creating our lives to be more convenient. that we are conveniently doing things. You're paying water bills when you're sleeping, you're paying for school fees when you're wherever you are, you're paying for everything wherever you are. So there's a lot of convenience that comes with the internet. But also we see faster service delivery, that you can be in Gayaza and then you can be able to order for food or something, and so it is delivered very quickly. You need not to come to Kampala for you to receive a television set in your house in Fort Portal. It will come. So there's always this kind of opportunities that are created by the internet, and fast service delivery is also one of them. But also we see that there is wider access. You've seen in the education sector that we have colleagues in the US, but they are attending lectures in Germany. Someone is in Africa, but they are attending lectures in the EU. So there is wider access. People can be able to access different services from wherever they are because the internet is here with us. But also we see a lot of financial inclusion, that instead of you walking from the mountainous district, say someone is in Kapchorwa, and then the bank is maybe far away from them, they don't need to go there. They just need to actually withdraw their money from wherever they are. And that then creates financial inclusion. You are able to be included wherever you are, and you're able then to meet your demands, financial demands or academic demands from wherever you are. And then, of course, in terms of improved communication, it's also another interesting thing that the technology has brought. You're able to improve your communication because the internet is here. You're able to talk to your loved ones wherever they are. You are able to communicate with your colleagues. Just imagine sending a link in Kampala and Asha has not called any one of you, but every one of us is on the call because the internet is able to improve our communication. And then also, of course, economic growth. You know that many people are running programs, they are running projects, but from online. And that earns them money. Even these colleagues who are coming up with internet-related apps, someone is coming up with an AI-aided application, and they're earning a lot of money. So why? Because the internet is with us. So while the internet then brings all these opportunities, it's very important to note that there are also risks, online risks that keep coming with these opportunities. Of course, we shall see challenges relating to cybersecurity or cybercrime. We shall see challenges associated with fraud. We shall see, I know one of the colleagues I will invite later will be sharing with us on how they were defrauded a day ago online. And then we have seen identity theft, that someone claims they are Bernard and yet they are not, just because they are able to have access to my voice, and so they can be able to clone it. And in a second, they are able to steal my identity. And then, you hear someone speaking and they think it's me, but actually when I'm not. And sometimes they're speaking things out of context. So somehow the internet comes with all these challenges if you're not very, very careful. Of course, data breaches have always been reported. Someone's data has been used maybe to scam other people. We've seen online scams coming in. We've seen a lot of misinformation and disinformation, but also we've seen AI-enabled deception coming in. Now, when you look at these opportunities and look at these risks that come along vis-a-vis the services and goods that are being accessed online, then we thought it wise that we actually have a conversation on the role of the internet safety in goods and service delivery, especially in a country like ours where digital services now are making our lives very easy. They are making our lives very fast. They are making our lives more convenient. But how safe are we when we are looking at these different goods and services? And of course, for you to benefit from all this, you see now there are so many mobile apps, mobile phones, websites, mobile applications, social media, mobile money platforms, even online marketing platforms, etc. So the question now here should be, how do we make sure that while we access these different services, we know the risks for each of the sector, and how do we overcome these risks for the different service delivery modes? So that is the conversation we're going to have today. And this is basically the background to it and the preamble to it. So the benefits of digital services can only be ruled or realized fully when consumers know how to stay safe online, because we cannot run away from this reality. So that is the conversation, ladies and gentlemen, that we actually have this afternoon. Now, let us begin with the different sectors. We may not explore all of them, but at least we can have an idea from the different perspectives. Look at the education service sector. Let us begin there. It's very important for us to stay safe in the digital education that we see now. When you look at the education service sector, what do we see? We see a lot of common online services that are offered within the education system. Think about the e-learning platforms that people are studying online without necessarily going to the physical university. They have never been to the physical library, but now we see digital libraries. Some people have never gone to school to do exams. They are busy doing online examinations. And then we have had these school portals. Now, most of the universities, each student has a student's portal. You know, the portal is for your results, your payments, and other things. And people are not going to school. They're basically attending lectures fully while they're in their rooms. So even when exams come, they're doing online exams. When they want to access the library, they're able to access the library, even in their bedroom. And then also they are able, of course, to have e-learning. But also now we see schools coming up with the school fees payment systems and also the pocket money platforms. You know, parents are no longer struggling to give children money. They just load the money on their children's pocket money application. And then a child is able to access whatever they want to access in school using, you know, the online pocket money system at school. Now, all these are available education services online. Now, while these are very, very important, they come with very high risks as well. Talk about the top risks. Of course, there are so many, but these are the few that we could share now. Students' data breaches. Every time you're enrolling online, let's say e-learning platforms or digital library or maybe online examination, it could even be the school fees payments. The students' details are actually supposed to be taken. What is the name of the student? Which class are they? What is the student code? What are the parents' names, etc. Now, when people have access to data of these students, some unauthorized sharing of student personal data and academic data can come in as a risk. So this is why we're talking about data breaches in schools. Someone has given you their child's data, but because you have access and you're the one controlling the online system, then you start having unauthorized sharing of these kids' data. So you find that a child has really offered their data to the bursar or to whoever, but then you find this data with everybody. So those are risks that come with these online things in school. But remember, consumers, we even don't know that we're supposed to hold those schools accountable whenever my child's data is being breached. So the student data breaches are a common top risk actually when it comes to education service sector. And also we've seen fake admission portals where people are creating admission portals, scholarship schemes, and then, you know, only to know it, people are being scammed with scholarships. We have a scholarship this, we have a scholarship that. So we currently see very much of the fake scholarships being offered, and specifically to steal money or data from people. So someone says we're offering the scholarship, and then, you know, the details needed there: your name, your degree, your contact, your email, your phone, etc. Then also they make you to even sign your password and whatever, and so people end up being scammed in the name of getting scholarships. You know, that is a top risk in the education sector. But also we've seen identity theft. Still, criminals are impersonating students or teachers. You know, they know that you are teaching in this school, they can have access to your data, and so they start impersonating you. And they assume that you're the one, and so they have your voice. You just need 2 seconds to clone your voice, and then a criminal is actually using it. We've seen, of course, phishing emails, where we're talking about fake emails asking you to log in, fake emails asking for your details, for your payments, etc. You've seen some of you who have tried to pay for school fees for a long time. You start receiving messages on payment of school fees, They start saying, well, you're running out of time of payment, etc. And yet actually it's a fake or phishing email. So all these are happening within the education service sector, whether in primary school, in secondary school, or even at the university. We've also seen cyberbullying again in schools, especially with these online systems of schools. We've seen people being harassed, the harassment of learners through online platforms. Maybe they have logged in an e-learning platform, but then they're being cyberbullied. We have already talked about cyberbullying for some time. I understand now at this level, we all understand cyberbullying. So children are being harassed even when they are on their school e-learning platforms, either in their digital libraries or in their e-learning platforms or even online exams. People are being cyberbullied. But also we've seen aspects of AI-generated academic fraud, where there's the use of AI tools to create fake assignments, fake credentials, fake results, etc. So all this is happening within our school environment. But also we've seen risks to do with harmful online content, because someone has access to your e-learning platform, then they're able to put harmful online content. Talk about pornography, because they know that a student is going to be online to access the e-learning platform. Some hackers may enter there, and actually instead of putting academic content, they end up putting pornographic content, violent content, hate speech, or even misinformation in those platforms. So what are our children accessing in the e-learning platforms? What are our children accessing in the digital libraries? What about in the school portals? What is there? How many parents are asking these questions to the schools where our children are going? So it's a little bit problematic. If you're not very careful, then we may have a challenge. So these are the questions then we need to keep asking when we go to our schools and they say, well, we have an e-learning platform. Who is monitoring the content there? How is it being monitored? For you guys who are doing investigative journalism, this could be areas of interest for you to dig into the e-learning platforms. What kind of content is there? Who does what? Who's regulating them? How is content being managed, etc. This could give you very interesting stories as media personnel. But of course, we cannot keep lamenting. Of course, these are top risks, but what are the safety tips? We can also talk about the safety tips, especially in the education service sector that is now getting over digitized. It's very important that we need to verify school websites. If you see a website of a university, you need to verify it. Always use those official school or learning institution websites. It would be very important that actually before you even start using or getting used to a particular website of scholarships or whatever, you're able to verify these websites. But also it's very important, if there's a scholarship alert coming in, it's very important for you to confirm the scholarship offer. Check with the trusted sources before sharing any personal information with other people. Some people have gotten alerts on their phones on scholarships, and then we are clicking links and then it takes you to something and then something. It's a little bit dangerous for us to keep on. But also sometimes we receive these links to the scholarships and we keep circulating them even to the innocent ones. If you have not verified as an adult, don't give it to a child or a young one. Otherwise, people are being scammed in the name of scholarships. So it's very important that you actually confirm these scholarship offers before you can offer your information. We also think that it's important for you or for us to actually use very strong passwords. We shall keep talking about it. Now, when I was getting some bit of literature on strong passwords, I met one of the very serious universities in the US where students are not even encouraged to use, they are actually encouraged to use sentences, where someone has a password like God is good, God is great. Like, I don't know, statements of that nature, instead of using 1, 2, 3, 1994, your age. Some people prefer that you use actually sentences that people cannot actually know. So we need to create unique passwords and change them regularly. So there is one on creating a unique password. But now we are not even saying create a password. We are saying actually create it, but often change it. Whether it is your PIN code of your phone, on your mobile money, or your bank, it would be very important that you keep checking and actually changing it regularly. because now the telecoms do not have a limit of the passwords. You can always have, as you can change your password even every day. So it's one of the safety tips that we have. Don't use a password for 10 years. This business of using your password for 30 years is not acceptable. Keep changing it often. But also protect student accounts. Never share login details with them, with anyone else. For instance, if you're parents and you're accessing your students' pocket money app, don't share their logins with other people. Have them by yourself. Report cyberbullying whenever it happens, but also verify payment channels. If they're saying, well, at school you are paying using the bank, pay using the bank. If at all they come up with a new way of payment, then parents must be alerted and the parents must be in the know of which kind of platforms are being used by the schools or universities for which their children are actually going to school. And therefore, it's very important for us to remember that we should always think before we click.
So it represents 2.5 kilometers. It lose your possession.
You need to
2.5 kilometers as
we need,
a
we need to, someone has
representative
to unmute.
function
I
scale.
don't know who they are. Someone is talking about kilometers. Apologies. I don't know. My colleagues who are, please let us mute them. Okay, so it's very important for us to always think before we click, but also verify before you can pay. Sometimes you receive a notification telling you about a particular payment, and before you read it, for you verify. It's very important that you actually have time. Read those notices before you can actually click payments. Otherwise, you'll pay for a fake thing and then you start crying as a consumer. So it's very good that as consumers, we need to be very smart. We need to be very alert. We also need to be very safe every time you're online and you're dealing with the school education services that are online. So please, a safe online learning environment protects our students, teachers, and our future. So it's very good that we keep encouraging our people to stay safe online, but also stay smart there. This is not someone's role, it's all of us. So together, let us build a safe digital education space. Whether you're a media personnel, you have a role to play. If I'm a parent, I have a role to play. The student has a role to play. The government has a role to play. So it's all our role to make sure that we have a safer digital education space. So let us also quickly look at my screen is not able to. Okay, let us look at the health service sector. We've just talked about the education sector, but also we are aware that in health, in the service sector of health, now online and internet is all over. Talk about telemedicine, talk about, of course, where people just make a call, or maybe you're consulting with your consultant wherever they are, or maybe you're just prescribing for yourself, online. There are also online appointments where you have to book a consultant. Maybe there are issues of electronic medical records where people's records are generated online and maybe they are sent to other people online as well. Think about someone in the lab receiving your details and then they have to send them to the doctor via an online space. And the doctor has to do a prescription and sends that same information to the pharmacy. Then the pharmacist sends the same information to the cashier. So basically, this person is just in one place. Either they are in the lab and the lab person sends the doctor for prescription, doctor sends to the pharmacy sends to the... So you find that one's information is moving online without necessarily having a paper. The paper can be delivered at the end with everything, the results, the prescription, the medicine, and the cost. So the healthcare service sector is actually using the internet than ever before in all these aspects. And while that is very good and it is making life easy, very fast, efficient, and etc., it also comes with risks, which are also still to do with breach of medical records. As a health practitioner, I know the ethics of health. I'm not supposed to share your information with anybody, your images and whatever. But now with this online thing, there's a risk of the breach of medical records, where medical records are reaching beyond where they're supposed to reach. So we've seen unauthorized access to patient information. We've seen fake health advice because someone is using telemedicine, or someone is doing an online appointment, or maybe you are doing electronic, or even health information platforms out there. We see many people having fake health advice. And because of that, we see an increased kind of misinformation, misdiagnosis regarding different diseases. We see people taking fake treatments and medicines. And of course, we've seen now antibiotic resistance increasing. Why? Because partly there's a lot of fake health advice being given to people. There's a lot of misinformation given to people. There's a lot of disinformation, especially around treatment of non-communicable diseases or other kind of illnesses. So all those are risks that come along with health services when it comes to online service delivery. Of course, we've also seen people having access to counterfeit medicines. Because I mean, you're doing an online telemedicine, you're using electronic kind of guidance. Some people have had access actually to counterfeit medicine. They have had fake online pharmacies now mushrooming everywhere. We have had selling and safe medicines now on a rise. Why? Because the misuse of online platforms. And also we have aspects of medical identity theft, where fraudsters actually use patients' medical information the way they want. And that can be a very big risk to consumers of these services. So we've seen medical identity theft, we've seen medical fraud, where doctors actually are offering consultations online. And then, imagine if you're supposed to come to the hospital. The thing is, I'm supposed to do your vitals, what we call vitals, check your heart pressure, check your temperature, check your whatever. Now, if you're doing tele medicine, I don't need to do that. Sometimes it's just a call and then you're explaining how you're feeling, and then I just say, oh, you have ulcers, but I've not even done any test. So now we see very many fake doctors offering consultations online and at a higher cost, but actually giving people fake prescriptions, and people end up dying of antibiotic resistance, or people are being treated for different illnesses. Someone has a tumor, which is even benign, and someone is treating them for cancer. Or someone has hypertension, but they're being treated for maybe they're being treated for diabetes. Someone has diabetes and they're being treated for something else. So there's a lot of fake consultations happening. And of course, now we end up having challenges with the health of our people. But also we've seen a lot of ransomware attacks, where we have health facilities becoming victims of cyber attacks because they know that there's a lot of data in the hospital setup, and now cyber attacks usually will target these online systems of bigger hospitals or health centers. And sometimes if these hospitals have had this data, some data can be misused and put to the public domain, and the consumers start complaining and actually suing some of those healthcare units, and yet the data leaked through a cyber attack. So it's quite challenging now for people who are using online systems, but it's very important that they know these risks so that they can have countermeasures for these risks. The safety tips are usually very key for our consumers to note. It's very important that as consumers, we consult licensed providers, because it means if they are licensed and you have a complaint, we can use that licensing kind of approach to actually reach out to them and arrest them if at all there's a breach. But if you're just using any consultancy services which are not licensed, then there's nothing we can do for you. So we need to consult licensed providers. Always use services from verified and licensed health professionals. The Ministry of Health usually provides licensed healthcare providers on their website, but I think it will be very, very important that this information is put to the public domain. If I go to Fort Portal, what are those licensed entities? This is the role of government, to inform people of the licensed healthcare providers within a district. So as journalists, how do we ensure that this information is provided to the people? How do we ensure that we get this information from the health department or from the district, and then be able to provide the community with verified licensed service providers within the health profession? But also, it's very important to verify health websites. Use official health websites and trusted platforms only. Now, again, the question will come: how do we know those verified health websites? I know that Peter Byamgisha, during the AI sessions, he was able to tell us, I think, how to verify websites. If not, I can still provide some support on how I can share maybe how websites can be verified, on how those HTTPs are written. Sometimes they are written, but they are wrongly written, not because they are wrong, but they are being used to defraud us. So it's very important maybe that we can support our communities on verifying health websites, but also avoiding self-medication. Many people out there, including so many of us on this call, you want self-medication. People in Fort Portal, while I was still with you, you remember how I was against this thing. That even if you called me on the call and you wanted me to prescribe for you, I would want to see you first. So it's very good that we avoid self-medication, because when you want to self-medicate, you just go to Google and you tell it, now I have headache, my stomach is paining, which medicines can I take? And Google tells you, oh, okay, go and buy this. But literally, you know that headache and fever and muscle cramps can be signs or symptoms of different other diseases. So when you tell it what to give you, it will give you what to buy according to what it understands at that time. And yet, maybe if you're in the hospital and you tell us you have a headache, you have muscle cramps, you have whatever, we would perhaps take a sample maybe of your stool and be able to see, why is the stomach paining? Could it be parasitic or could it be something else? So we see that because people love self-medication, now they can use online tools and then they are defrauded, they're giving wrong treatment, they're given wrong therapies. And at the end of the day, you treat something and it never cures. And then you go into another problem of liver intoxication and etc. So do not rely on online information for self-diagnosis or even self-treatment. It's very suicidal. While I appreciate that the online information can give us, relatively what we might need, it's very important to seek healthcare uh, for you to be able to get support. Of course, protect personal data. I will not keep silent about this. We shall keep reminding each other about personal data protection, protecting your information as much as possible. Do not just share your health data with unknown individuals or unknown sites because you want this particular service. Ensure that you protect your personal medical information. Me as a healthcare practitioner, I cannot share your, even if you told me and I did a test and I found that you're HIV positive or whatever it is, it is ethical that I keep quiet with it. It's like one of the ethics that we sign as health professionals. So it's very important that you really don't share your health data with unknown individuals as a consumer. Otherwise, those individuals will use your data for other things. So please use trusted health platforms. Use secure platforms for appointments, for records, also for consultations. Let us remember that your health data is actually part of your personal data. You remember when we were looking at health, personal data protection, we looked at the medical records as part and parcel of your personal data. So please, we should always remember that whatever you provide online will be there. So please, your health data is your personal data, and therefore you must protect it. Please think before you share your data, verify before you can actually trust, and stay safe, stay healthy online. So that is something that we can reflect on around the health services that are now online. Let us look at transport. When you look at the transport service sector, what is happening in there? We now see that you can do online ticketing, where your travel ticket is actually put on the phone. We see navigating systems where you're on a border and then you're using the Google Maps. They're taking you turn left, turn right, turn left, turn what? I mean, you have vehicle tracking systems now in the vehicles. We have ride-hailing apps where you need maybe a safe border or something, and then they have to come and pick you. We see for us who have been maybe some of you guys who keep flying out of the country, you're ticketing every now and then online. You even check in now at the airport, you're checking in online. Now you see that transport services have also become digital. So it's very important also that we stay safe when using these digital transport services. Of course, while they have made life so easy that I can order a border, a safe car, whatever, they come and pick me from wherever I am, it still comes with risks, which you also need to take precaution of. Kindly note that with online transport services, we also have what we have as the fake booking platforms. Fake. You are booking, but the booking platform is actually fake. As soon as you've dropped in the money and you think you've booked, the thing is no more. So you see fraudulent transport websites now coming up, which are collecting lots of payments from consumers, and then they disappear. So for you, once you have paid, you wait for a receipt, it never comes. You wait for direction, it never comes. Kumbe, it was a fake booking platform. So we need to be very careful. How do we book these services? How fake are they, or how genuine are they? And therefore, we need also to look out for things like payment fraud, where scammers steal your money through fake payments or links or whatever, and then they're able to defraud you totally. And you end up now in the hands of the scammers who have really taken all your money in the name of payment for transport or something. We've also seen location tracking abuse, where your location data can be misused by crime or criminals, and so they end up now putting you into shit. You know, you're using a tracking device, but then somehow the guys can scam it, and then they tell you, okay, move left, move right, move what, proceed ahead 2 kilometers ahead, and then you find yourself in the middle of nowhere. And so there are those abuses also that are coming on, and therefore it's very, very important that we use official applications to guide us as we are going, or we are heading wherever we are going. But also it's very important that sometimes you need to get the known place. If, for instance, you're going to a place you do not know, and maybe you may need to find what is the common place. Is it a church? Is it a hospital or something? And you can always be picked from there, because otherwise this thing can be misused and they take you to actually the basement where they will have to squeeze you left, right, center. So there is already a risk there that we need to know, so that every time you're ordering an Uber or something, maybe you are using the navigation system or a tracking system, you're very cognizant so that you don't fall prey of these things. We're now currently having what we call fake driver profiles. So you'll also see them. Criminals use fake identities to deceive passengers. So we need to be extremely careful. I don't know how, but these are risks that we need to know, that when I'm ordering a car, there is a risk of a fake driver profile or something. And therefore, you need to use an application that is known, that you can actually trace. Whenever you have a challenge, we can go to that place and you are able to be supported or compensated. Of course, we also know identity fraud comes in. Your personal information can be stolen and then misused for other things. You must have seen all these things happen now. Someone's contact, someone's name, someone's face was misused, and then people end up in trouble. So we need, on the side of consumers, know these risks. But also we know that there are safer tips that we can always share. Verify the driver identity, check the driver's details. Now, in the buses, the Ministry of Transport put up a rule that for every driver of the bus, their image must be placed where customers can see, with your name, with your driver's number, etc. So that is one way of ensuring that we verify the identity of the drivers, check the driver's details, check their photo, and then the vehicle number before you can actually take a ride. Use official applications, of course. Download and use trusted transport apps only. If you've not heard about it in your country and you don't have any clue about that app, don't download it. Only download that you've been seeing around and is being used, and you know, And also avoid unknown booking links. This business of sending a link and then you want to book, but what are you booking for? You even don't know what you're booking for. Do not click on these links received via SMS or messaging apps. You know, it's dangerous. We need to tell our consumers all these things. But also ensure to confirm payment details. Check the fare before you whatever. Check how much am I going to pay. And then you know when you reach there, check how much it is, and then you're able to pay it. A colleague was sharing with me this morning, telling me that now life has changed. That because the fuel has increased, you go with a safe border guy, drops you, and then you check on your system, they are telling you you're supposed to pay 5,000. Now the guy says, no, fuel has increased, now you have to add another 6,000. But the application is telling me 5,000. So you need to be very cognizant and make sure that you actually check the fare, the destination, and the payment method. If they're saying you're going to pay by cash or by mobile wallet, use that because that is what you agreed before you even traveled. Let us know these things, and then we start empowering consumers out there, our children, our siblings, our parents, ourselves, our friends. We need to have this information go to them. But also, of course, share travel details responsibly. Don't just share with anyone your travel details. Some of us are overexcited. Now you just want, because this is your first time to have a flight, then everyone has to know. Oh, my friend, share your travel details responsibly. Share trip details only with your trusted contacts. In fact, when I first traveled, they told me, my uncle, of course, my dad and other family members had traveled, of course, severally. And you know, they told me every first time you're traveling, people should even know when you have arrived. I don't know. I don't know how you do it, especially if you're moving out of the country. Sometimes you can be a target. They know someone is traveling, and so they can ambush you. So only share these travel details if you must share them anyway with those trusted contacts of yours. Otherwise, you can be scammed, you can be defrauded if you're not careful. So please let us remember trust verified platforms only. You're only going to use the trusted verified platforms. If not, hapana. Also verify before you trust. You know that this business, I trust this thing, but first verify it before you trust it. Otherwise, you can be in a shock. Please let us stay alert while we travel. Protect your payments. Report suspicious activities whenever possible or whenever you see them. So safe travel starts with smart choices. How do I want to travel? How will I travel? Which means will I travel with? How will I make my payments, etc. So please let us stay alert, stay secure while we are using transport online services in wherever you are. Let us now talk about another disaster around financial services. Kindly, we need to protect our money online. When you look at the financial services, they are all over now. Talk about mobile money. All of us are using mobile money in one way or the other, either to pay for accommodation, to pay for food, to pay for whatever. Each one of us is definitely using mobile money. Talk about the internet banking. We're now using internet banking as one of the fastest ways of, pull your money from the bank or deposit your money from the bank or pay for something in the bank, etc. So there's a lot of internet banking happening. There's digital lending now. People can lend you money or digitally. There's now fintech applications all over. And also, of course, other digital financial services, as you might be knowing them. These are very perfect, very powerful tools, very good because you save time, they're convenient. You don't waste a lot of resources going and transport and whatever. It's very, very good that we have them. But just like we said again, risks exist. And our role today was to say, guys, what are the potential risks in the different services? So if you look at the financial service sector, while it is very powerful, very good, you must be aware of the top risks. For instance, now we see a lot of SIM swap fraud, where criminals take control of your SIM to actually access your accounts. The guys are accessing your accounts, criminals actually, through these SIM swaps. So we have now a lot of SIM swap fraud, and that is where most people are losing cash. Criminals, they end up taking charge and control of your SIM. They are able to access your accounts, etc. We have also seen a risk of phishing attacks where people are receiving fake messages and fake emails. They steal your login details or even your PIN. And last time we talked about it already, how people steal our PINs. This business of going to the mobile money guy or send your child and say, oh, tell Mama Nalongo to put my PIN. And then you reach Nalongo, the kid reaches Nalongo with a written paper, and you've written your PIN on that paper. Why on earth would someone who's learned or even unlearned do that? So a child goes there with a PIN written. Hey, this is my PIN. So when you reach there, tell her to put it. Hey, my friend. I saw one time a mobile money lady giving her PIN of the mobile agent line to another person. That's like, why on earth would consumers do this? And then like, oh, we don't know these things. So it is trouble. People are now having those phishing attacks, fake emails, fake messages, logins, and also people have access to our PINs. So it's something that we need to know. It's a risk that we need to know amidst the financial services growing. We need to know about the account hackers. We need to know about the fake bank messages. Fraudsters are now using fake bank messages. Fraudsters, they even impersonate banks, to steal your information. They'll tell you, oh, I'm calling from this and this bank, blah, 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 blah. We need this. Your account is likely to be blocked tomorrow. I have seen those messages on my phone. Fraudsters have called me, tell me, oh, your account, otherwise you're going to close it in the next 24 hours. The latest told me we're closing your bank in the next 3 hours if you don't do A, B, C, D. I told him, please go on and close it. Close it. My colleagues at office know how I have opened the case on some fraudsters who wanted to send me a letter telling me that they gave me a loan of so much money, and yet I don't have an account in that bank. And I have opened up a case against them. But how many of us actually can differentiate between the fraudsters and the realities? We need to tell our people out there about these risks. There's also what they call account takeovers, where hackers actually steal your credentials. After stealing your credentials, now they lock you out of the credentials because they go get your PIN and then they change the PIN of, for instance, your ATM card or something. Or say they have details of your account. Let me say these online, these, how do you call them? The apps you have to pay. Say you have an app for a particular bank, and then they will ask for a PIN and a passcode somewhere. And this fraudster has them, so they can change the PIN. So every time you go and access, they cannot. And for them, they have now created their own PIN and they lock you out. That's what we call account takeover. They take over your account because they have stolen your credentials, and so they can lock you out. So all of these are risks that we have in the financial service sector that our consumers out there must listen to, must learn, must understand, so that whatever they are doing online, they are cognizant of these risks. But also there's digital loan scams now. Oh, you can apply with us, we can give you a loan in 2 days, in 24 hours, in 3 hours, you have a loan. And oh my friend. So they are fake lenders now, who of course will ask for fees, but they never give you the loan. So they say to apply for a loan, it is 10,000. To have access to this, it is another 10,000. So they have like a 30,000. It looks very small for someone who's in need of $1 million. So they said, no, once you pay the fee for the application form and for the processing and whatever, you'll have access to the loan in the next couple of hours. And because you're desperate, you go on and you process, you give them your account, you give them your TIN, you give them their, and at the end of the day, they are fake lenders. They'll ask you for fees, you paid 30. Now, if they can actually scam 100 people per day, and each one of them is paying like a 30K, you know how much that can be. So these are the realities that we need to know around digital loan scamming and all that. We have also had investment scams. They create investment schemes, they promise high returns to just basically to steal money. So no, you invest with us every month, 100,000, and then we invest it together and all that. And I mean, we are looking for investment clubs, and so we join. Kumbe, these guys are actually doing investment scams. So we are not saying that people shouldn't use, but what we are trying to present here, we are showing the risks that exist in this kind of digital environment that our people must be knowing. If you want to invest, scrutinize which entity you want to invest with. Where do you want to get a loan? Investigate before you get these scammers, etc. Now we also have AI voice cloning fraud, where scammers actually clone our voices of our relatives or bank staff. And you know, the guy talks to you, oh, hello, my name is Bernard, calling you from this bank. And you see that actually they have cloned your bank loans officer's voice and they're actually talking like them. So you need to be keen. How do we differentiate these guys? How do I follow up with the bank to know if actually these guys are not scammers or not? Of course, we have a risk of unauthorized transactions where you just wake up and then a transaction has happened on your bank. Your money has been stolen without even your consent. How do you follow up that kind of case? And of course, data breach will always be everywhere. Your financial information is in someone's hands, and so they can leak into your online platforms and they take over everything that you actually have. Now, there are, of course, safety tips again. Never share your PINs. Please, never share your OTPs. Banks and mobile money agents will always fall victims of this whenever they share their PIN, their OTPs. So it's very important that people, we need to be cognizant of the PINs, of the OTPs, and etc. Because remember, the bank people may never ask you for these things, but then a fraudster will ask for them. Just imagine if you're at the bank, no one asks you for your PIN. It's just you to put it there or to put your fingerprint or something. Not even the bank person has access to your money. Now, we need to enable multi-factor authentication. This one we extensively talked about it the other week. Don't have only one authentication kind of approach. Have more than one, so that if you're on the computer, they will send you a code on your phone, so that you use the code on the phone to put in the computer to verify that you're the one. That way, you can really protect your data or your gadgets or etc. So you need an extra layer of protection, really, but also monitor transactions regularly. Monitor your transactions regularly. Check your account activities, what is happening. If you receive a message, what do you do? If you see that they have deducted your money, what do you do the next morning? Go to the bank, find out what is not happening. I mean, that monitoring of your transaction helps you to keep check of these stars, the fraud stars. But also verify investment opportunities. Research before you invest. Where am I investing? Where are their property? What you have to verify. And it's very bad for us who haven't gone to school to be defrauded in investment clubs, which actually never exist. We look fools actually when we are frauded by the guys who have not even gone to school. Why don't we verify these investment opportunities? Why don't we do research before we can make an investment? Why do we want to invest in things we even don't know? So these are opportunities that we need to share with our people out there. Use official banking applications. Other than these ones we just see, please make sure we use official banking applications. Use secure networks. Avoid these things of sensitive transactions on public Wi-Fi, In fact, the other day we looked at Wi-Fi. When you go to a place and you see that the Wi-Fi has no PIN or it has no code, then don't subscribe to it. In fact, don't log in to a public Wi-Fi. A Wi-Fi has no password. Then as soon as you do this, you want to attach to it. That can be dangerous. Please use secured networks. Avoid these sensitive transactions on public Wi-Fi. Keep your devices secure. Update your apps. Use antiviruses and lock up your phones. Report suspicious activities, etc., either to your banks or your mobile money agents or providers, etc. So we need to remember, if the sound is too good to be true, it's probably, it might not be true. So it's very good that we keep remembering, whatever sounds to be too good to be true, I don't know how we would call it. Sometimes you see a lie and you see it looks like true, but it's too good to be true. So you need to ask ourselves again and again. So please let us always verify, let us think before we act, let us check, and also let us act safely so that we remain safe on the internet. We use our internet very safely and calmly. If you have your money, please save money, secures your future. Be alert, stay informed, and also stay secure while you're online. Now, when you look at agriculture services, we have also seen now digitalization going into agriculture. Common online services for agriculture, of course, digitally, we have the farmer advisory platforms online where farmers go and start asking questions. My cow is doing this, my plant has dried like this, my what. So there are those advisory platforms where now people provide advisory through those online platforms that you can click advice on this, you put a question, and then the answers can be gotten right there. That is one of the farm advisory kind of things that we are seeing in agricultural services. We have seen agricultural mobile applications where people can even get information on weather, online weather information, climate issues, pests and diseases of animals, of plants, etc. All those platforms now exist. We have also seen recently, I was attending a conference where the guys have made applications. If you want to irrigate, they will tell you the amount of water needed by that plant so that you don't apply more than that water. All of those applications now exist. And it's very interesting. They can even tell you, that application tells you when not to actually irrigate, when to irrigate, at what hour, etc. We've seen those digital marketplaces where people are selling seed, people are selling their produce, etc. We've also seen market price information now. Tomatoes are now at this cost, mangoes are now at this cost. All those tools now exist. And all these help farmers, help traders to actually be able to have access to information, have access to market information, planting information, weather, etc. Now, again, very good services being offered to the farmers, very good innovations, but we shall not stop talking about the risks that come along with online agricultural platforms. Of course, the risks are also high. Agricultural inputs, which are fake, can also be a risk. But when I'm using an online platform, I should think about the fake agricultural inputs, counterfeit seed, counterfeit pesticides, fertilizers now, which are being sold online. A lot of fake happens online, fake, counterfeit, and all those kind of stuff. It is a risk. So what we are doing today, I hope now you are able to understand that all these things are very good for us, but people must understand the potential risks. We even have potential risks around false extension advice. False, like unverified or misleading farming recommendations being given from the blue, just from nowhere. So you see, farmers having access to false extension advice, farmers' data exploitation, misuse of farmer registration and personal data, online fraud, fake buyers, oh my God, fake buyers, fake suppliers, and they end up taking your money or they end up cheating you online. Because I mean, you have the app, but you didn't even think it is authentic. You didn't verify. You just shared your information. We have price manipulation online, Wanangi, false or inflated market prices and information. All these are potential risks. A lot of misinformation, fake climate updates, fake pests, fake disease information, fake everything. So our farmers must know that while we are using these online platforms, but there are those risks that they must take charge of every time they are using the online spaces. And so we talk about, of course, safety tips again for farmers in the agriculture sector. Buy from verified suppliers. And we kept on telling Maif, can you provide us the list of the verified suppliers of seed, verified the service providers for fertilizer, for agro inputs? Who are these verified suppliers? If you go to your districts, can the production officer provide us this information so that we start telling people, if you want to buy this and this, these are the verified suppliers. That is very important for us as farmers and as people in the community out there. Of course, we talk about farm market information, ensuring that we cross-check prices from multiple reliable sources, verifying extension advice, and also protecting our data. Do not just share your personal data carelessly. We need to be very, very careful. research online buyers, verify those buyers, follow official weather updates, etc. I know that in Uganda, some of the updates can be relatively having challenges here and there, but they could be better than the fraudster data. So please, farmers out there, agro dealers, let us remember to verify inputs before we can actually invest. Let us be informed. Let us be cautious. Let us protect our farms, protect our future. We need to make smart decisions so that we can yield harvests. Otherwise, we shall invest and we don't harness anything. So together for a safer and productive digital agriculture is something very, very important for us. Now, as we come closer to the end, let us talk about electricity and water. Many of us are paying for electricity online, we are paying for water online, and now these very perfect things. Stay safe with digital utility services. Of course, we have common online services, for instance, electricity payments, smart metering, we have water billing, now we have mobile utility payments, we have customer service portals online for water and electricity, very good, and even other digital utilities. These are very good. Now we pay when you are seated home, when electricity goes off, you're able to make your payment on your phone, etc. You're able to know your bill, etc. Still, it comes with risks. Fake utility payment platforms now have emerged. Fraudulent electricity for all water payment websites have now emerged. People are stealing lots of money on those platforms. We've even seen the fake token generators. They generate a very fake token. My friends, scammers are using all sorts of stuff. Scammers sell fake electricity tokens that actually do not work, do not exist. And then you see a consumer van be struggling. We have seen smart meter hacking. Criminals now manipulate smart meters, leading to wrong readings or higher bills. We've seen customer data breaches. Your billing and personal information can be stolen or even misused. There's a time I spent 2 months without sleeping in my house, but when I came back, my bill had gone, I don't know, 100,000. Immediately, I went to consult with the water guys, the national water. They told me, no, your bill is at zero. But someone had even sent me a ticket that actually they are demanding me 100,000. So we need to be careful and tell consumers these things so that people are alert. We're not creating fear, but helping people to just be alert. There are fake messages of disconnection that keep coming. Oh, fake disconnection notices or payment reminders. They keep tricking us into sharing information or making payments unnecessarily. So we need to alert our consumers, our people on these things. Pay through authorized channels. This could be a safety tip. Can we pay now using those authorized channels that we know? Use official utility websites, apps, and banks or agents to make sure that you make a right payment. Verify these messages. Confirm any utility message by checking official contacts before acting. Before you pay, think about it. Protect your information. Never share your account numbers, your PINs, your passwords, your tokens, etc. Monitor your bills. Check bills and token history. Check regularly, actually, for any unsafe activity that is happening on your water, that is happening on your electricity, that is happening on your TV, etc. Report these suspicious activities to the authorities. Maybe if it is about TVs, maybe to UCC. If it's about water, National Water. If it is about electricity, we have ERA, Electricity Regulatory Authority, or maybe this EUCDL, or other people, so that people know and they can be able to help us. So please let us remember to always verify. Let us protect our data. Let us use official platforms. Let us stay alert, and let us report any suspicious activity. It's very important for you to verify so that you'll be protected, but also endeavor to report so that we have safer utilities, safer communities everywhere we go. What about e-commerce? People who are buying products online. So there is this thing called e-commerce and online shopping, where now we see a lot of platforms, we see online marketplaces, we see shopping applications, we see deals and discount platforms, we've seen digital wallet payments, we've seen order.
I'm making a small request. Can you go back to the electricity one?
Yes,
Yes,
Henry.
sure. Thank you.
Henry? Yes, KHR. Henry, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. You can go ahead. I'm sorry.
You wanted to make a submission?
No, please go ahead. Go ahead.
I go to the next.
Yes, please go on.
Oh,
I will not
okay.
disrupt again. Go on.
Okay, Henry, thank you. Okay, so in terms of the e-commerce, I was talking about people who are shopping online. Of course, it's very convenient, it's very good. It's creating market, it's creating convenience, efficiency, and people can receive commodities while they're in their house. And then we have seen a lot of online marketplaces now. We've seen food being delivered to people. You just order and the food comes. Very interesting. You're there, and then there are these shopping applications. You're buying food stuff, you're buying clothing, you're buying vehicles, you're buying whatever it is online. You've seen these deals and discount platforms coming up. Digital wallets coming all over now. Digital wallet payments and etc. We've seen order tracking and delivery and all this kind of stuff. Yes, these are very good platforms. By the way, they have helped us a lot. I don't know whether our colleague is online. I wanted her to give us her experience at this point. Asha, if the colleague is on. Sorry, just to confirm if she's on. I just wanted to give someone an opportunity because she had an experience regarding the e-commerce. What's her name again? Fauzia, are you there? I wanted before I share this slide to listen to this lady share with us her experience because it's relating to this e-commerce. It will make a lot of sense for us to hear from her. Let me just a little bit and share the screen so that I see her name. Ronette. Ronette, you need to help Nachboneka to be able to speak to us. She just got an experience yesterday, and I thought that before I can make a presentation of the e-commerce, we listen to her.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you, Nachboneka.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all the insights that we've gotten this afternoon. Actually, you've really opened up my eyes because I've been listening in from the beginning, almost from the beginning. I came a little bit late, but still I was able to catch everything that you were saying. Yesterday I got quite an experience because I make cakes. I'm the owner of a small confectionery, Fuzi's Bites and Cakes, and I do most of my sales online. And I so happen to get a number of clients from the diaspora because during the summers, most of those people come down here, they order cakes, and then their friends keep recommending the other friends, and I get a number of orders from diaspora. So yesterday I was quite busy in the afternoon and I was baking, and then around 1 p.m. Somebody sent in an order using a Canadian number. She told me, Isabel, I am in Canada. I went on holiday, but I would like to book a cake for my niece. It should be delivered in Naguru on Tuesday. So she gave me all the details about what she wanted. She downloaded a picture from my catalog and shared it, the kind of cake that she wanted. And I got some of the details, but I didn't reply so much. I kept going on and off. So every time I would check in like after 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and we kept on going and going and going. So around 5, she was like, I want to send you the money so that you're only left with delivering the cake. And how much is it going to cost for transportation? I called my border guy. I asked him how much it would cost. He told me the money. Then she was like, please include also the withdrawal charges and all that. And since I was tired, caught up with this and that, I didn't really give it much thought. So when she was like, look out for the money because I'm going to send it, I was like, it's fine. Then she tells me I've sent the money and I'm like, I haven't seen anything. Then she's like, I'm using this bank and they're going to send you a link. The bank was Chase Bank and they're going to send you a reference number, blah, blah, blah. So they sent the link, but they sent through an MTN number. She was like, there is this money sending app, your company, actually, your company. They're going to send you the details. Now the guys send me and they're like, verify, we've sent you the reference number, but she has sent you 177,000, so 27,000 is going to be service fee and all that. Before I knew it, when I was dealing with the reference number, I put in my PIN and the money was gone, which was left on the phone. I'm like, oh my God, I've just been scammed and I didn't even think about it. When I was doing the transaction, I was like, oh my God. At that very minute, all the chats were cleared by them. The profile pictures which were on the 2 phone numbers were deleted and I was only left with my side of the chat. That's when I called MTN immediately and told them I've been scammed. They asked me for the numbers they used to do it. I sent in the numbers, I changed my PIN there, and then I called my sisters and told them about it. I was like, so many times I've been dodging these scams. So many times people have tried to scam me and I've been alert rather. I have always told them, and this, but this time, the way it happened, somebody took their time. They were on that transaction from 1 p.m. up to around 6 when they took the money. The way they were chatting, everything was like, oh my God, this is a new client. I was like, I couldn't believe it, but it happened. So that was my experience.
Wow. Thank you, Fauzia, for sharing with us. It's a painful experience, but it's very good for us to learn from. Sorry for ambushing you to share with us, but it's a very good experience, so that it backs up this kind of conversation that we are having. It helps people.
Yeah, sure.
It helps people to grab what exactly we are talking about, and so it becomes easy for us to learn from your experience. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure.
Thank you for sharing.
And look, it has enabled me to get much more information in all the other areas that you've been talking about.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so colleagues, that is the experience, and I wouldn't want now to stay longer on this conversation, but just know, so many fake websites out there, so many too good to be true deals, unrealistic discounts can be scams, to trick buyers. Payment frauds, scammers may steal your card details during payment, or sometimes they'll tell you, okay, put your PIN, put your code, put your whatever, and I am abroad. I can give you another tip. If you're selling at 20,000, I'll give you 30 or 40. I mean, too good to be true, So non-delivery of goods. Sometimes you make a payment and you order and then you've paid, but then the goods are not delivered. So you may pay but never receive your order. All those are risks that can come along with online e-commerce. Of course, we have also fake sellers, fake reviewers. So scammers use fake reviews and ratings to gain a lot of trust. So you find that there are people there calling themselves sellers, but actually they have nothing they're selling. We also have identity theft. Your personal information can be misused. I've always talked about that. But also we have people who are sending us fake emails or messages, and so they end up stealing our money, etc. Because we get excited. I have been tried many times by people abroad. We are sending you this number of computers. Thank you for the work you're doing. We want to give them to you for free. But of course, now you may meet the transport charges. Now you need to first send the money. And so, I mean, we need to be aware of how these guys phrase their things. They will frame them in such a way that you can't actually even tell. But because this information is in your hands, ladies and gentlemen, let us be keen, let us be cognizant, and then we protect ourselves, but also the other colleagues we work with. So there are many other safety tips, of course. Shop on trusted sites, check websites, the security of those websites. Let us read reviews, check genuine reviews, use secure payment methods, keep records, but also track your orders. Track them, monitor your orders and confirm delivery. Report suspicious activity as usual. It's very important for us to verify before we buy, protect our personal data again, pay securely. You must shop safely, stay alert for scams, and also make smart choices so that it can lead you to safer shopping. So guys, let us try as much as we can to beat these odds as much as possible. All right, so I have only two slides to go. There's now this e-learning. I think this one I already talked about it in the education, but I think I repeated it, but it's something to do with e-learning, but also there's cybersecurity for everyone. Now, this is just a slide to help us now appreciate everything we've been talking about in whatever form the fraud can come. Let us be very careful about cybersecurity. How safe are we when we are online? And it should be everyone's responsibility. Let us be aware. Let us be prepared, because they will come. These things will come. But when they find you aware, when they find you prepared, you can actually always maneuver and stay secure. So, of course, there are many things where we can get problems: emails, social media, online banking, e-commerce, cloud services, mobile applications, public Wi-Fi. All these are very good to us, but they can also land us into trouble. Be careful, because phishing is there. Phishing attacks will always be there. Malware and viruses will always be there, which can destroy, of course, our gadgets. Weak passwords are always a challenge, especially where guys easily guess your password. This business of using your year of birth, 1993, 1994, those weak passwords, then you start putting 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, those ones can be very challenging. So those are weak passwords which can cause us trouble. Data breaches, which the hackers actually use, identity theft, which I've already talked about, scams and frauds, unsecured networks. All of these are potential risks that can land us into trouble while we are using online. And therefore, let us encourage our people out there, one, to use stronger passwords. Create longer passwords. Usually about 14 characters are good enough, but of course, we fear to forget them. Use stronger passwords. Create them unique passwords, change them regularly, and also enable a two-factor authentication, as we've always mentioned, and add just an extra layer of security to your accounts. Keep software updated. Be cautious with the links that you see on your websites, on your phones. Be cautious with those links. Back up your data. Review privacy settings. Monitor your accounts. Please monitor your accounts. Check your accounts regularly for unusual activity that could be happening on your account. Report these suspicious activities that are happening to you. So please let us think before we click anything, so that we stay safe online. Stop, think, verify, and protect. That's when we can actually be able to protect the masses there. Please remember to stay informed about the latest threats. Now that you guys are even journalists, you need to stay informed about the latest threats that are on our way. Protect your personal data, protect your financial data. Think before you share information. Use trusted websites, and also stay alert, stay safe, and stay secure. Now, of course, there are other aspects of AI-enabled risks. These ones, they are embedded with whatever we've been talking about. But issues of deep fakes, they have come in. Now, these are AI-enabled risks that we need to be aware of. Issues of deep fakes, AI-generated videos or images that actually can look like someone said something or did something, but actually they didn't do it. So we need to be cognizant that these things exist. Now, for you guys as reporters, you need to be careful to know whether something is real or it's a deep fake, because it creates a risk of reputational damage. It creates a risk of blackmail. It creates a risk of fraud. It creates a risk of misinformation. So we need to be careful, especially us in the media. How do we report? Was it said or it is a deep fake? Because it can cause all those risks that I've just mentioned. But also in terms of voice cloning, now voice cloning has come. You can hear Bernard speaking somewhere, but actually when I'm not the one speaking. So AI can clone voices using just a few seconds of audio And this can present a risk of impersonation scams, fraudulent calls, unauthorized transactions, etc. So we need to still be very, very careful of this kind of voice cloning. Let us be aware of them, and then we can handle them accordingly. Of course, there's also what they are calling AI phishing. AI can write highly convincing phishing emails and messages tailored to you. And so this can create, of course, credential theft. It can create financial loss. It can create malware infection. So we need to be cognizant of the emerging AI-enabled threats because they are there. And for you guys as the media personnel, you cannot dodge knowing these things. So that's why we have labored to make sure that while you know these things, but they look abstract until we talk about them with you. There are issues of synthetic identities. AI actually now can create fake but realistic identities using a stolen or generated data. They can steal your data and they create identities. So it creates a risk, of course, of account takeover. Someone takes over your account without your notice, loan fraud, tax fraud, criminal activities. Someone tells you you picked a loan and you've never picked it. Maybe someone else, a fraudster, used your details and they picked a loan, or maybe the criminal activities were happening in your names and actually you didn't know. So all of these are now the AI-enabled threats that you need to be aware of. Of course, we now see automated misinformation. AI generates and can spread false or misleading content at scale across platforms. We've seen now that creating many risks. One could be manipulation. It could be panicky, division, erosion of trust, and even democracy can go away. Especially now we start seeing fake news generated by AI, etc. And then, of course, we have AI-powered attacks. Cyber criminals use AI to automate attacks, find vulnerabilities, but also evade detection. So the risk here is higher about stronger, faster, and harder to detect cyber attacks. All those are happening within our society. So we can even know, there are signs now that can help us know these AI-aided threats. Things like too good or shocking to be true. You need to be very skeptical of surprising videos, audios, or news. When you start seeing something that is really too good for you to believe, you start seeing that as a warning or as a sign of something. Whenever you see unusual voice, so you start seeing mannerism of somebody. Listen for odd pauses, robotic tone, or sometimes unnatural speech. Someone is speaking real English, but you know him, they don't even know English. Or you see the lips are not matching with the words, that could be some bit of sign. Or someone is talking something, but the sign you see, the non-verbal movement of their hand is actually not matching the words. You know that is a sign of trouble. Someone is actually maybe manipulating. We also have an expected urgency, where someone tells you, oh, it is very urgent in the next 5 minutes. If you don't do it, just be careful. There's a problem there. Be cautious of urgent requests. Urgent requests for money. It is very urgent. Someone is dying. Those things. Log in very fast. Those problems. When you start seeing those kind of things, very unexpected urgency, you know there's a problem. It's a sign. It's a warning for you to be more careful. We've also seen warnings around unknown or unverified sources. Please, if you see anything that is unknown or unverified, that is suspicious. But also we have seen suspicious links or suspicious attachments. We've seen inconsistent information. Check for those mismatch in the message, and then it will be sorted. So let us give all this information to people, and let us remember that not everything you see is actually real. Not everything you hear is real. Use critical thinking. Let us verify before we believe. Stay informed, stay protected, protect yourself and protect others. Now, one was asking me, in conclusion, of course, who is responsible for all these things? All of us are responsible. Government is responsible for making sure that the laws are working, the regulations are working, they are in place, and actually they are being enforced. As consumers, we are the ones to be responsive. Whenever something comes on your phone, it is not government to read it for you. It is us to read and understand and interpret what it is. It is us to report these things. As consumers, we need to be alert, we need to be informed, we need to be realistic with ourselves so that we don't fall victims. And then, of course, the media help us sensitize the masses, tell people out there what is happening. So it is everyone's role, really, to make sure that they play a part in securing each other, especially online. Now, when you look at what we have learned today, we see that actually the digital world brings very amazing opportunities, but also real risks. So by understanding the threats and following smart practices that we've discussed, we can all stay safe online. So let us be cognizant of the threats and also the real and evolving crime that is coming online. Security is everyone's responsibility. You are the first line of defense for your information and for your devices that you actually are using. Of course, smart habits make a bigger difference. Simple actions that we do, like setting a very strong password, like changing your password every day, or maybe regularly, or even updating your gadgets, can prevent big problems. So we don't need big things. We just need to be smart. These smart habits make very big differences. But also protecting yourself can actually protect others. So your simple actions affect your family, affect your friends, affect your community online, etc. And also technology should empower, not actually endanger. The technology we have now should empower us and not endanger us. Let us use these digital tools wisely to learn, to grow, to connect safely. And of course, together, we can build a safer digital world. Awareness, action, and cooperation create a secure online future. Let us create awareness, let us act, let us cooperate, let us work together to make sure that everybody is safe. For our takeaways today, kindly let us all think before we can click that thing. Before you click that link, think before you can click it. Protect your personal information. Please use security practices, strong passwords. Keep your devices and softwares updated. Please report suspicious activity, respect others, and be a responsible digital citizen. So being aware is very nice. Let us be smart, let us be secure. The power now is in our hands. For the last 7 sessions, we've been learning as the media teams, learning about AI, learning about digital platforms, about data protection, etc. Now the power is in your hands, and we think that you can go out there, create awareness, empower others, empower yourself, empower your family. Let us continue staying informed about the latest threats and the solutions. Let us make security a daily habit, not a one-time action. Let us help others learn about these things and stay safe online. Together, guys, we can create a safer, stronger digital community, and your choices today can shape our tomorrow. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are committed as Consent to keep bringing you these aspects, talk to you about them, but also we are committed to promoting digital safety and responsible use of technology. We are committed really to continue educating the masses, raising awareness, and empowering everyone online. And we want to request you to join us in fulfilling these commitments that we have at Consent. So we will work together with you and ensure that we secure the future of others, but also ensuring that everybody receives this information through you guys. And also let us stay vigilant, just like at Consent. We try as much as possible to stay vigilant, to stay respectful, to stay secure. And we wish that this commitment also, you take it up and use it wherever you are. So let us build a future where technology works for everyone safely and securely. Your actions today can create a safer tomorrow. Let us stay alert, let us stay safe, let us stay protected. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for taking a long time, but I hope it makes sense to all of us, and I hope that we have learned something this afternoon. So allow me now to end here. I hope that I have not wasted your time. I hope you've learned something, and I hope that it made a lot of sense to you. All right. So now I want now to look at any one of you who has, we just have a few minutes, we have 18 minutes. And I want to request that in any case, if you have a question or you have an addition, or you have a comment, you have a compliment, yeah, you can raise your hand and I can be able to give you space. in the remaining few minutes. Okay, yes, Stephen, and then after Stephen, we shall have Christopher. Let me unmute you. Stephen, are you able to speak?
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
And colleagues, it has been so good. Today's session has been so insightful. I've had an experience. Recently, a doctor of mine, a friend of mine, logged into a website where they are transacting money, and he paid 150,000, and also a nurse in his clinic. He also used the nurse in his clinic to pay for 30,000, and it was like they were getting some money. Of course, they were getting some more profits, and they were giving them after 2 weeks. No, after 16 weeks, they were giving them the profits, and encouraged me to register. I refused. They said those are fake websites, and after maybe some time they are going to switch off. And the guy encouraged me to register. I said, no, I'm not going to register. He said, I can give you money and you register and then you give me profits. I refused. I told him that is a fake website. Just after around 5 days, it was off. So, and imagine how many people had signed in and given out their money into such a fake website. Another one also from UK and Nairobi contacted me, and said, you have seen your website is doing well. You are doing some insightful programs, and we have thought about you. Now we are going to engage you, and then you write a concept. Now, the first thing is that you submit a concept. After the concept, then we shall analyze your concept. After the concept, you go into the competition, and we see how many concepts that have been good. Then you write a proposal. Then we struggled and write the proposal, and very many organizations that participated, even here in Uganda. After 2 weeks, they said the proposal has gone through. And then they said, now the only thing you are going to do is now to be verified. And they sent us a link for verification. Now, the link they sent to verification was linking us to a Nairobi company that does the verification of the civil society organizations. Now, we reached them, but immediately I thought, I and my colleague said, this is something that is fake. Because when you look at the process, it has been so quick, like after 2 weeks, after 2 weeks, after 2 weeks. And then from there, now they are verifying, they are sending us to a verification company. And when we contacted the verification company, they say, now you have to pay some money. They had outlined some different amount for Uganda, amount for Sudan, Rwanda, and Nairobi, and is it the DRC? So, and when we equivalent to it, was in US dollars, and it was for Uganda, it was around 670,000. Now I looked at this and said, a verification for someone, how can you verify someone for money? I said, these ones, they should come on ground, and then maybe ask for the certificates, the permits, and look at the programs and what have you. So what they were asking like, give us the reports, give us the programs, the background that you do, and even the certificate of registration, and you pay this, and you pay it on mobile money in the names of a certain doctor. And then we shall send you the verification, and then after getting that verification card, you send the verification card to the organization that was going to give us the grant. But immediately I thought this one was something that is fake. I wrote to them an email that we cannot accept to be verified online unless you come on site. And they did not respond. The UK company, the organization did not respond, and even this one of Nairobi did not respond. But just after a week, both the websites were off, the one of UK and the one of the verification company, which was in Nairobi. But when you looked at them, even a colleague of mine who has even a master's in monitoring and evaluation says these ones are genuine websites. When you look at this one of UK, this one of Nairobi, are genuine. We can pay the money. I said no. These ones are fake websites, and verification can't. Even someone who's going to give you funding cannot ask you for money. So after that 1 week, the websites were off, and it came. We learned that we are on a forum like this one for civil society organizations, and a lady from Kampala was sharing that she had got a certificate from that company. She was jubilating that she has got a certificate, and you know, sometimes when she applied for grants in the United States and UK, they normally ask for a certificate from a verified company. But I told her, you got that one. Do you think that company was genuine? You check, even their websites are off. She checked and she was shocked to see that all the websites were off. So very many sites are happening, and they are coming up on internet, and they are calling people. Those more especially those who are doing money transactions. Another one was like they were using this gentleman of who was working on NTV, and his colleague Serwanga, and they were like doing some a discussion talking about a site that is doing transactions. And when I tried to click on it, they were like on Daily Monitor. I found out that they're in the UK. Immediately they contacted me. And I was
May
with
you
an
wrap up,
IT
please,
guy.
and give others an opportunity, please. Wrap up in 5 seconds, please.
Okay, immediately I clicked, and a gentleman from UK, he was speaking like an Indian, said that it is a genuine website and they are doing this and that. They kept on calling me, and I said, please, you are fake. Don't call me again. And immediately they stopped. So my last statement is that we should always be vigilant about these websites that are coming up on
Thank you very much.
on internet. Thank you.
Thank you. We had Christopher. Christopher, I need to see your hand again so that we can give you the microphone. Okay, I am not able to see. Okay, I can't see Christopher. Let us have Edward.
Yeah.
Edward.
Thank you, better than the team. Hope you can hear me very well.
Yes, we hear you.
Now, team, me, I got a very familiar experience related to almost cloning. Sometime back, like a year back, I did a story. It was about money lenders. It was a financial institution called Yetu. Now, when I did that story, after doing it, I had posted this on some WhatsApp group. Now, after an hour of posting it, I received a message from like 4 new numbers. They were all calling me for a meeting that I didn't know, and I did ask to attend. So when they sent me a meeting, that message I didn't reply. So they called me on WhatsApp. So me, I got suspicious. I know WhatsApp calls cannot be traced, they cannot be even recorded. So I got suspicious. So after they sent me a code, they are like, in case you are willing to join this meeting, kindly tap in this code. then you resend us the code. So within me was like, why would you give me a password and again ask me to give you the password? Later I realized that these people wanted to take control of my WhatsApp. So what they did was they asked to change my WhatsApp to another phone. So that code that they sent them to confirm whether it's me or not is what they sent them. So that send me that code. So if I had put in that code to confirm that it's me, so they'll take charge of that of the WhatsApp. So colleagues, or as we're doing our daily work, it's very important to be very keen because it took me time. I was so conscious because of the story. I knew it would spark public interest, and some other people were touched. So I was so keen. That's how I survived, and I thought it would be important for me to share that experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward. I can't see any other hand, but I see a lot of conversation in the chat. Ronette, I kindly request you to share the registration link in the chat so that colleagues start registering. We have only a few minutes. I can't see any other hand. The link has been shared, a registration link has been shared in the chat by Henry. Kindly pick it as we come to the end of the conversation. Let us hear from Nantaba. Speak to us your experience.
Thanks, Bernard and team. Good afternoon, everyone. I surely don't want to go back to that experience because it's really hurting because I'm one of the victims. I have a question, or I may say it is a suggestion. Yes, like you've stated, the laws are there and government is aware that these scammers do exist. However, we continue to see people being affected. Even today, like we are discussing here, you never know, we have colleagues outside there who are falling victims of these scammers. How I wish that government puts more emphasis on implementing these laws than having laws there when they are not fully functioning. So my call is that how I wish we see government coming on board in ensuring that these laws are fully implemented so that we don't see these scammers. What hurts most is that someone calls you and the person sounds very confident, even calls you by name, even knows your background, and then you get shocked and then you wonder if these laws really are functional. So how I wish that we advocate for those laws to be fully functional. Thanks, Bernard and team.
Thank you, Nantaba, for sharing with us very extensively. It's very interesting, and that's one reason we're here, to make sure that while we share our experiences and what literature tells us, we also listen in to members. I have seen some of us in the chat saying that you ordered for cameras online and only to know it, you are receiving toys for babies. I see some people saying, well, I ordered for a bicycle, and then at the end of the day, I received the bicycle for the baby. I mean, so now currently what other shopping companies are doing, you specify, and then when they give you products that are not meeting that, please, you return them. So colleagues, thank you so much. And let us all register. I want to give Mr. Chimera to give us the closing remarks so that we can be able to close the session in the remaining 4 minutes. Thank you so much, colleagues, and have a wonderful weekend. Over to you, Henry.
Thank you very much, Bernard. I trust you can hear me, colleagues. I'm quite in a makeshift. Bernard, thank you very much for this session, the 7th, that is focusing on safer internet and goods and services delivery. With you being sensitized, empowered, I trust we can build trust and confidence in the digital environment. With your experiences, with your challenges, or with the opportunities that you have had in the digitalized environment, you can use those to make the internet safer, to benefit many others. when you look at today's session, it has taken us kind of globally. It has given us a systems approach in that safer internet is not for only you as an individual, but it is for you in every aspect of humanity, going through health, going through transport, going through environment, trade, going through education, going through eating, taking care of your spouses, knowledge management, going into engagements, social networking. So we find that we need to have this this ecosystem safer so that we benefit from it as consumers, as practitioners. And we are greatly honored having you, the Fourth Estate, as you are the eyes, the ears, the voices of society. So let's use whatever we have got to transform our societies, to transform our country. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you all for finding time. We are going to wind up this series on Monday, and we will be digging into the legal policy, legal regulatory frameworks. Would love to look at the two acts. One, well, there are many other acts, but we would like to specifically look at two acts: the Uganda Communications Act and the Computer Misuse Act. We are going to have the Dr. Waiswa. He's with the UCC legal department. He will be breaking it down, the experiences they have in looking at fraudsters, those people who are using multiple SIM cards to leading to wrong experiences in using the digital environment. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will look forward. Let's generate content out of this. Let's generate stories, both print, electronic, audio, visual, and also using our social medias. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Looking forward to being with you and also joining us for many other initiatives. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Joe.
Bye-bye, colleagues. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Henry, for the closing remarks. And on Monday, please don't forget to come. Your certificates would be ready.
Thank you, Doctor, for the presentation. Have a good day.
Thank you. I hope everybody has registered.
This thing is not opening on my end though. Yikes. Okay, your submission has been received.